What is going on, guys? Snickel here, and today I have another Platinum Trophy video for you guys. Today I'm going to be getting the Platinum Trophy in Tilting Tiles Micro Challenge on the PlayStation 4. Now, the last trophy that I do have to get is Micro Mastermind, which is to complete all 20 stages. I do also get the trophy for beating the 20th stage in under a certain amount of moves. All the other trophies in this game are just going to require you to beat all of the stages under a certain amount of moves, but nothing that's too crazy. If you guys do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments below if you've played it already, and consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification to stay up to date on all of my new trophy content. Anyway, with all of that being said, let's get right into this video. Typically, I would live stream myself getting this Platinum Trophy over on Twitch, but I was given an early review copy of the game from Eli and Treefall Studios, so I do want to thank them for that. So I wasn't able to stream it over on Twitch. I did end up becoming the first Platinum Achiever for this game, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I guess that's pretty interesting there. But since I was playing this game early, there was really no content or anything on the internet that really talked about anything with the game. So when I was playing through this, for me at least, it was a lot of trial and error. And I'll give you a few suggestions if you're playing through the game, if you don't want to just look up guides, because I'm sure there's going to be guides that are going to be put out for this game where it's just going to tell you, move by move what you need to do and, the fastest way to get the platinum. But really, this game only has 20 levels, and 15 of the 20 levels are really not that difficult, and they don't require that much. I wouldn't say that much thought, but there's not a lot of trial and error because there are like less than 20 moves or whatever. There are a few levels where you're going to need to do like this one, where you need to do like 50 moves. So it can be pretty tiresome to kind of work back and through and to figure it all out. So the advice that I'll give you if you want to kind of try to figure this stuff out for yourself is you want to look at what makes sense from an ending perspective. So what is the last move that makes sense as you're playing through? Because if there's a move where like you need to shrink the tile from like big to small in order to land to get a gem, and then you can't move anywhere outside of that, like that clearly is the last move. So the first thing is to just look at that and see what makes sense. The next thing I do is I then figure out what makes sense from a first move perspective. So from where you are, does it make sense to go straight? Does it make sense to go left? Does it make sense? Like, what makes sense from a first move perspective? And then from there, you kind of want to connect the dots from the first to the last. And the way that I did that personally was I would kind of just scoot my way through the level, figure out where there were platforms and things and where I could kind of move to. And then from there, that kind of dictated where I could use my double moves, where I could use my diagonal moves, where I kind of needed to go. I would realize like, hey, well, in order for me to get from there to there, that's going to take 3 diagonal moves. If I'm only given 4 diagonal moves, then I can only use 1 somewhere else. So like you kind of look at that and you can kind of figure out where you need to go. One of the moves that I found to be useful and like I always used them was the double moves. The double moves I really never had extras of because, I don't know, I just felt like I never had extra double moves, which is probably good. But yeah, that was kind of my thought process as I was playing through the game. Like, what makes sense from a first move or from a last move, from a first move? What makes sense from, moving diagonally and everything like that. So for this level, my thought process was kind of like, I was kind of moving through here, figuring out like what made sense. And then I was like, well, in order for me to get the platform, to get to the back, I can't go into the white platform, or like I need to go to the pink teleporter first, or not the white platform, but the white teleporter. But then I was like, but I need to go to the pink teleporter, but like from the pink teleporter, I can't reach the platform in the back. So like you kind of have to think about what makes sense from a timing perspective. And I'm making it sound really bad, probably, but like it's really not that bad. Like you're talking trial and error of like, 20, 30 seconds. We're not talking trial and error of like 2 hours. So it's nothing too crazy there. But all in all, I really did enjoy the game. These games are in a bundle right now, I believe, and there are a few of these Tilting Tiles games where if you guys want to pick them up, they're on the PlayStation Store and everything, and they're really fun games. I always have a lot of fun playing them, and they're unique. Like typically when you have a puzzle game or something, it kind of makes you think in other ways, where this one makes you think in ways of, you know, how to get through, what makes sense. And then this game adds other aspects of like shrinking the tile, and then you have to worry about diagonal moves and double moves and teleporters and things like that. And like there's, you know, if you can fall off of platforms, but like if you fall off of a platform, you know, sometimes you can't get back up. So you have to think about like, okay, where can I, you know, where can I fall off a platform and where can I not fall off a platform? So here we go. We're doing our last move here. We figured this one out finally. We got that one done in 54. And some of the levels to get the trophies, which we'll see in a second, you have to do it in under those moves to the right. So there's our trophy micro mastermind. We're also going to get stage 20, which was for completing it in 54 moves or less. And then we will get this platinum trophy micro tilt. So really enjoyed the game. Again, thank you Eli and Treefall Studios for the copy. But anyway, let's take a look at this list. So here it is, 100% with the platinum, no DLC or anything. And as you're looking through the list here, you're going to see that there are trophies for completing all the stages in a certain amount of moves. You are going to have to complete these stages under the amount of moves that's in the bottom right-hand corner for a few of them. But for a majority of these, you're just going to have to beat the level in the amount of moves that's in the bottom right-hand corner. I meant to mention that before, but you just need to keep an eye on that. And if you end up beating a stage and you don't get the trophy, just go back. You can replay the stage right then and there. And you can also look at the trophy to see what you need to beat that in the amount of moves that you need to beat it in. Anyway, here is the profile in a second. Right here, trophy level 580, 50%. I've got 14,495 total trophies, got 9,719 bronze, 3,252 silver, 1,289 gold, 235 platinums. Like I said, 14,495 total trophies if you're into that numbers kind of stuff. And then here's the platinum trophy itself, again, just called Micro Tilt. So if you're into some puzzle games and everything, I would highly advise and suggest to pick up the Tilting Tiles games. If you want to kind of get a taste of it, doing this Tilting Tiles micro challenge is a good start. And then if you do like this type of game, then you can pick up the other ones that have a lot more levels and stages. And again, for all of those games, the trophies are going to be related to the stage specifically, and then beating that stage in a certain amount of moves. And I'm assuming at this point, there's probably guides out for all of them. So if you ever do get stumped on one of them, you can just check out those guides to kind of help you get through that. So anyway, let's talk about some numbers here. So difficulty out of 10, I'm going to give this game. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. And the only reason I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 is because it could be easy if you watch guides, but I'm talking strictly from the perspective of like if you're just playing the game, not worried about guides. 5 out of 10 is pretty average because you are going to have to think a little bit as you're playing through the game. And it is going to require a little bit of effort in that aspect of thinking, but it's not so hard to the point of like, you know, only geniuses can figure it out. Like it's just a lot of trial and error and a lot of thinking. So I'm going to ride the median there. We're going to say average 5 out of 10. Time it takes to get the platinum. If you're watching a guide, you're talking maybe like 15 minutes, 15, 30 minutes. If you're not watching a guide and you're doing it by yourself, maybe like an hour or so. I don't know how long it took me, but I would say probably about an hour. It would be an hour or 2 hours maybe would be a good timing for that. So 5 out of 10, hour to 2 hours, nothing too difficult. If you do enjoy puzzle games, definitely be sure to give this one a check along with all of the other Tilting Tiles games. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments below, and if you haven't picked it up, again, I would advise to pick it up. Again, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing for more trophy content like this, and I hope to see you all around sometime soon.